Hello, guys, and welcome to China's Red Line. Hope you are all doing well. I think we are live. Just do a check in the chat. Yes, I can see we have a few comments already. That is very nice. It's great to see you guys in here. Right, well, we've got a lot to talk about as per usual. We've got a break in story about the mega embassy and a whole lot more. So let me first load up my screen as I usually do. Let me see. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'm going to make myself smaller and you should see a black screen. So yeah, guys, we got a interesting story for you to start off with. We're going to jump straight into the mega embassy thing. So, for those of you that aren't in the know about this, China wants to build a mega embassy, a huge embassy. It's going to be the largest Chinese embassy in Europe, possibly in the world, and it's going to be built right in London. Now, the people who live in the area where the embassy is going to be built, they weren't even really told about this. And then all of a sudden, their landlord is the Chinese Communist Party. Now, of course, they're worried about their privacy. They're worried about the CCP spying on them. They're worried about potential security threats. In fact, the mega embassy was built directly above some really sensitive cables that run through to the financial district in London. Like within inches of the walls, there are these sensitive cables. The CCP could tap into that. The people who live there, the residents, are also really concerned about the safety in the area. There's going to be a lot of potential protests against the CCP. They're worried about being spied on and surveillance from the CCP. The CCP are notorious for spying on people, especially people who object to them. And I can tell you, a lot of the residents, especially one that I know personally called Mark Nygate, he is very much against it. And he's pretty much organized a whole campaign to try and get this thing stopped because he really, really doesn't want to live behind the CCP's mega embassy. So he had a GoFundMe. The whole thing got approved by the British government in January of this year. So they've created a GoFundMe. They raised a lot of money. They reached their target to take the CCP to court, and this is happening in July of this year. So, in a couple of months' time, they will be taking them to court to try and get it stopped because they claim that the whole thing is unlawful. It remains to be seen if it's going to be successful or not. We have to wait until July. But recently, I have been getting some messages from Mark telling me that the mega embassy has started to they've started to put barbed wire fences all around the embassy. Now, let me tell you what happened. So they've put barbed wire fence around the perimeter of the embassy. Well, embassy because it's not an embassy yet, right? But this is CCP land. They own the land. They are the tenants. They are the landlords of the residents that live there. Just imagine the CCP is your landlord. Oh my God, right? So, anyway, they put this barbed wire all around here. And do you want to know why they did it? Well, I saw a video, and unfortunately, uh, I'm not going to be able to play that video because there's some concerns about the safety of the residents who actually filmed it. But some youths, some little chavvy type youths, I guess you could say, were just fucking around, messing around outside the mega embassy, and they managed to get over the gate on the slip road at Royal Mint Street. That's the street that leads onto the embassy, and security chased them away. I saw a video of it, so it absolutely happened. Security chased them away, and the security guard had what appeared to be a taser, an electric taser baton, which is actually illegal here in the UK. Security guards cannot carry that. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Even a police officer would not even be able to carry that around with them. Okay, so the security guard was chasing them off, and he appeared. I can't say 100% that he had it, but this is what it appeared to look like. He had a baton in his hand or a taser or something, and he was chasing these youths who were climbing over the gate. Now, these are just kids messing around, nothing too serious, right? I mean, this whole area pretty much looks abandoned. If I was a bored kid, maybe I would climb over as well and have a look around. We've all done stuff like that when we were younger, right? But imagine that security guard managed to catch one of those kids and potentially tase them. That is ridiculous, man. That is ridiculous. And thankfully, that actually didn't happen. Yeah, because they'd be looking at a massive lawsuit. I can tell you that. So, anyway, because of this, the CCP are putting in tighter security measures. These are some photos from Mark himself, and this is just incredibly annoying on so many different levels. For one thing, it's just it's just a horrible eyesore, isn't it? Imagine you're a resident living in here around this area with this behind you, and there's just this barbed wire fence everywhere. It just looks horrible. It looks like an actual prison. So this is an absolute eyesore to the residents that live there. But what's even more concerning for me is the fact that this it looks like a prison. Well, now it is a prison, right? For any dissidents that the CCP are targeting here in the UK, for any Hong Kongers who have fled Hong Kong to escape the CCP's authoritarian grip, or just any like person who's critical of the CCP, some Chinese dissidents, myself as well. This is very worrying because if they get you in there, they can potentially keep you in there, and there's no escaping that. You cannot climb over this barbed wire fence. You are going to get ripped to shreds. So, yeah, this is really, really worrying, very worrying. And the residents, rightly so, are extremely paranoid about the CCP moving in and this becoming a potential embassy, especially because there's those basement rooms that were redacted off of the original plans that they had to hand in to the British government. There were these basement rooms, and the usage of these rooms had been redacted for security reasons, which implies that these rooms could be holding cells of some sort. So, yeah, extremely concerning news coming from the mega embassy. I'm going to pay a visit to this area at some point very soon, and I'm going to go and see for myself this barbed wire because I just can't believe this exists. Obviously, it does. I mean, look, here it is in a picture, but I need to see this for myself. So, yeah, at some point, I'm going to head there. But yeah, and hopefully I'll make a video about it and keep you guys informed. But that's what's going on for now. They're fortifying the mega embassy. They're totally, totally paranoid. Why would this harmless, benign government, well, so they claim to be, why would they be so paranoid at their embassy that they have to put barbed wire all around it like this? You know, do you see this at any other embassy? I don't think so. This looks like they're turning it into a re-education center. It looks like one of the Uyghur camps, and this is in the heart of London. This disgusts me, and I just can't believe that this thing is going ahead. I cannot wait until July to hear about what happens with this court case, and hopefully the residents can get it stopped. Oh, and one more thing I just wanted to mention. There may be another fundraiser because, wow, they've been hemorrhaging a lot of money to spend on the legal case that they're putting against the CCP. And unfortunately, it's going to cost a bit more. So, yeah, as soon as I find out what's going on, I'll post a link to the new fundraiser and hopefully we can help and get some more funds to them because they're going to need it. This battle is not over, but it's still going to cost a lot of money. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it for the Mega Embassy stuff. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments. It's crazy. We're gonna move on. Okie dokie. This. Yes, this. Okay. So right. There is this Chinese research vessel. They're calling it a research vessel called the Tongji, and it was seen intruding into Taiwanese waters and conducting unauthorized surveys twice in May. And it was intercepted by Taiwan's Coast Guard, and they responded with the most arrogant message you will ever hear. So, look, let's just see it, okay? I've translated it. We've got some English subtitles, so let's watch. It's seriously, seriously arrogant, but it doesn't surprise me. You know, coming from the CCP, they are a bunch of arrogant shitheads, right? So you're here without our country's permission. This is the Taiwanese Coast Guard. It's forbidden to be here. And can you believe what they said? Please put your sampling equipment away immediately. Leave immediately. I gotta turn this down. This volume is bloody loud. And do you know what they responded with? There is no Republic of China, only the People's Republic of China. Oh my god. The arrogance of that. You sail into another country's territory, into their waters, and you have the cheek and the nerve to tell them that they are not a country? Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Thankfully, you know, they were scared off. Right. Yeah. Thankfully they were scared off, you know, but oh my god, it's ridiculous. They said 没有中华民国，只有中华人民共和国, which is like the People's Republic of China. There's no Republic of China, only the People's Republic of China. Come on, man. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And by the way, guys, just to let you know, this channel has finally been monetized. Yes. So you are now able to send super chats and that kind of thing. So if you are able to, you please send a super chat. If not, don't worry about it. Just to let you know that that option is now available on this channel. And I'm going to also try and do some kind of channel membership thing as well. So yeah, anyway, just thought I'd let you guys know that. Let's get back to the stream. Okay, next one. Yeah, all right, this one. So there's a tourist from China in Malaysia, and he was seen by a local Malaysian woman smoking in an area where smoking is not allowed. She approached him and had a word with him. Check it out. No smoking here. He's like, it's okay to smoke in the open air. Why not smoke? She's like, why? She's like, why are you scolding me? I'll tell you, okay? Smoking is not allowed. Smoke. Everyone else can smoke. You really can't smoke. What are you doing? Delete the video. What are you doing with the phone? This reminds me of what happened to me last week with that little pink, you know? He was telling me to delete the video, and just unbeknownst to me, like, I took me completely by surprise, and he just grabbed my camera off of me and deleted the footage without me being able to do a thing, because he had my really lovely, expensive camera in his hands. That was a shock to me. That is never going to happen again, by the way. And this is what they do. They go to another country, they break the law, they break the rules, they disregard the rules, they don't give a shit about the rules, and then when you film them, they tell you to delete the video. They don't like it when they're shown up. They don't like being exposed like that. That's basically what happened with this little pink that I had a run in with. You know, he was being very abusive, being a piece of shit. And then when I started filming him, he didn't like it. You know, because he probably didn't want that video to go online because he was acting like a complete piece of shit. Yeah, so that reminded me of this, you know, they're always trying to tell you to stop filming them and delete the video. Well, here in the UK, we're allowed to film people in public. And thank you. Why can't I see that super chat? Thank you, Major General Mao Shin Yu. Thank you for the Canadian dollars 279. I really appreciate that, Mike. That's from Mike, isn't it? Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. So yeah, yeah, what can I say really, you know? If you go to another country, just follow the rules, don't break the rules. You know, the locals will really, really appreciate you. Go to another country, break the rules, act like an ass, and you'll get called out for it. When I was living in China, I got on with it, put my head down, and followed the rules, which is what I think everybody should do. I would not have broken the rules in China, would not have broken the law. So why did the little pinks think it's okay to go to other countries and just disregard all of their laws and that kind of thing? Yeah, really bugs me. Anyways, let's move on. See, look, he was getting physical as well, just very quickly. See, look, he's pushing. And it stopped. Okay, this is some good news. We got some positive stuff, finally. We do eventually talk about some positive things on here. So there's a Taiwanese author called Yang Shuangzi and her translator Lin King, who have won the 2026 International Booker Prize for Taiwan Travelogue, making history as the first Mandarin Chinese novel to win the award. So Yang Shuangzi is also the first Taiwanese writer ever to receive the prize. So this novel is set in Taiwan in the 1930s during the Japanese occupation, and it follows a growing relationship between two women. Um, it's against the backdrop of food, colonial history, and cultural identity. So this International Booker Prize celebrates fiction translated into English, and it has a £50,000 prize. The money was split equally between the author and translator, and the year's theme was fiction beyond borders, highlighting the importance of global storytelling and literacy translation. In interviews, Yang Shuangzi said the book was inspired by Taiwan's complicated feelings towards its history under Japanese rule, describing a mix of nostalgia and resentment that she wanted to explore through fiction. So the judging panel praised the novel for balancing romance with sharp post-colonial commentary, and they also applauded Lin King's translation for capturing the book's layered narrative voices. So this took place in the UK in the Tate Modern Gallery, sorry. And yeah, she made a speech. This is Lin King, who is the translator. And I think it's a very poignant speech and worth listening to. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. So listen to what she had to say.
Continue to do so, I told myself, until the day comes that my homeland's sovereignty is no longer a provocation or a punchline. In 2022, when Russia invaded Ukraine, I made the explicit decision that rather than translating Sinophone works indiscriminately, I would only translate writing from Taiwan for the foreseeable future. So I told myself, until the day comes that my homeland's sovereignty is no longer a provocation or a punchline, until no English speaker feels comfortable saying to me glibly, I really should come visit you in Taiwan while it still exists. While translating Taiwan Travelogue, I knew I was taking big risks, precisely because it refuses to simplify Taiwan's multilingual, multicultural, and multi-ethnic reality. That no one can reduce Taiwan's literature to a monolith. Because we are not a chorus, but a cacophony self-contradicting and unruly, just like any healthy, robust democracy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that must be incredibly annoying,
Robust
right? To hear when when you say you're from Taiwan and some people just say, "Oh, well, yeah, I should visit Taiwan before China invades." Yeah, that is actually very offensive, very offensive. And I really loved her speech. And yeah, it's great that it happened here in the UK as well. I really think that more and more people in the UK need to learn about Taiwan. So hopefully, this has also helped to put Taiwan on the map here in the UK, and more people will go and look into it. So yeah, well done for both of them for winning the prize, and yeah, awesome stuff.
democracy.
All right. Okay. Yeah, this man. So there's been a lot of floods happening in China. And I'm not sure exactly where this happened, but it looks like a smaller town city area, right? And it's quite often these small towns and villages, they really suffer during China's flood season, during the monsoon season, because Beijing could also potentially be flooded, right? But they open up the floodgates on these massive dams and direct the water away from Beijing, away from the big cities, and towards these smaller towns. And they always take the brunt of these floods. And this is just an example of what a flood looks like in China. Check this out. Just check how the scene just all of a sudden just goes crazy. Just evolves, it escalates. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that car didn't quite make it, did it? Turned into like a huge flowing river of mud. Let's just pause it there. Yeah, it's crazy. Floods are scary in China. I remember being caught in a flood in when I lived in China in Dalian. It was like right outside this electronics market, this huge underground electronics market. And the whole area was flooded, like water knee deep up to your knees. It's crazy. It was crazy. And I was thinking, like, what about all of those shops? Because there was this electronics market downstairs underground, and it had hundreds and hundreds of shops. And I was thinking, man, if these people didn't know about the flood, they didn't know that this was going to happen, their entire livelihood is just pissed down the stream of water, down the flood stream. It was crazy, just crazy, guys. And this is what happens in China. And the CCP doesn't give a crap, They don't invest in infrastructure like decent drainage systems and stuff. They just, as they do, usually they just sweep it under the rug. It happens every single year. They just pretend that it didn't happen and just move on with it. And then next year, it's going to be the same thing over and over again. They never learn their lesson because they don't give a shit about the regular person who's living in China. Okay. And yeah, these floods are just absolutely awful, terrible, terrible. And we see it year in, year out, don't we? If you've been watching this channel for a while or you've been watching any other China commentators, you'll see that this happens year in, year out, and they don't do sod all about it. Okay, we've got a funny video next.
The most
This guy, oh my god. Just listen to him at first and then we'll unpack what he says, okay? So just listen and I'll rewind it.
racist word against Chinese is actually not Chongqing in reverse, not Chen with a K, it's actually Ni Hao, especially the way Western people generally pronounce it. So when someone comes up to you and says, "Oh, you're Chinese? Ni Hao," you know what it feels like? It feels like you're in the zoo and you're saying, "Ooh, puppy."
Oh
Actually, the
This guy. Oh my god. Okay, so sorry, just we're watching the flood again. Yay. Okay.
most
So this guy's like the most racist word against
racist
Chinese.
word against Chinese is actually not Chongqing
It's not Chongqing in reverse, so you know what he's saying, right?
in reverse, not Chen with a K, is actually 你好.
Ni hao. Okay, ni hao in Chinese, in Mandarin means hello. Ni hao. So
Especially the way Western people generally pronounce it. So when someone comes up to you and says, "Oh, you're Chinese," 你好, you know what it feels like? It feels like you're in the zoo and you're saying, "Oh, puppy."
So apparently, if I go up to a Chinese person and I say ni hao, then I'm being racist, right? Is this guy on drugs or something? The amount of Chinese people when I was living in China that used to come up to me and say, "Oh, Lao Wai, Lao Wai, hello, hello," like foreigner, foreigner, hello, hello, in a stupid, dumb voice, and would start laughing at me when I was trying to speak to them using Mandarin. It happened all the time when I was in China. And he says that Western people saying ni hao to Chinese people is racist. Oh man, this guy is just insanely dumb for saying that. Like his logic is that, well, if I'm going by his logic, that means all Chinese people are racist as well because they came up to me and they said hello in a stupid voice. They even called me a foreigner, pointed at me and told me how big my nose was or how white my skin was. Oh god, this guy needs to look up the definition of racist. He doesn't even know what racism means. Anyway, it's ridiculous. I just thought that was funny because especially what he says at the end, like listen to him at the end, it's hilarious.
Chinese, 你好. You know what it feels like? It feels like you're in the zoo and you're saying, "Oh, puppy."
Oh, puppy. Oh my god. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Right, this guy on a train. Just wanted to say this is not an attack on the people of China, by the way. Okay, I've seen people doing disgusting things on trains in lots of countries, including China. Okay, but there's a lot of CCP shills and there's a lot of CCP propaganda out there saying that in China everybody's so civilized, they behave on trains and they don't do anything wrong, you know. But have a look at this video. And just like all around the world, people do stupid shit on trains and they do it in China as well. Look at him, he's just picking the dead skin off of his feet. He's just throwing it everywhere. Like literally lying on 3 seats with his bare feet touching the seat. Gross. It's like he's in his own bedroom.
Oh, puppy.
Yeah. So the next the next time you have like a CCP shill telling you, you know, that people in China don't do things like that on a train. They'll quite often send you a video of somebody like in the UK doing something disgusting on a train, or the American subway in New York and how decayed and how dilapidated it is with all the homeless people and stuff. And just tell them, hey, look, dude, I saw a video of a guy picking his skin off of his feet on a train in China.
Oh, puppy.
Okay, next video. We have China's lame autonomous delivery vehicles. So it's quite often a bragging point from CCP shills, from the Chinese government, that they have fantastic autonomous delivery vehicles that are controlled by AI, and they have a massive fleet of these things, and the West doesn't have them at all, right? That's all good. That's all well and good. But, I keep seeing videos of these things just crashing all over the place. And this is no exception.
Wow, 咁啊冇嘛？哇靠你啊！
Ooh, puppy.
I hope you guys can see a running theme with these videos. Okay, the next one. So, I want you guys to tell me what you think is going to happen here, okay? I've got three options. I've got option one, a tofu dreg collapses, as in like something from one of the buildings falls down and smashes on the ground. Number two is cement pours all over the street. And the last one is a tire bursts on the truck. So please, just somebody, a couple of people in the chat, which one do you think it is? Is it tofu dreg collapse, cement pouring out of the truck everywhere, or a burst tire? Please write in the chat. I'll wait a couple of minutes and we'll see what you guys think, and then we'll show you the clip. So please tell me what you think is going to happen here. I guess could be any of them, right? So option one, tofu dreg collapse, concrete, so like cement going everywhere. Yep. Option one, okay. So option one, that was the tofu dreg, right? And you've got concrete, you've got tofu. Okay. Wait, it can't be concrete. They don't use that there. Option four, a hole in the road. Nope, there's no option four, but thanks for the message anyway, Headley. Cement. Okay. So most of you think it's either the tofu dreg or the cement. Okay, interesting. Let's have a look. It's a burst tire.
Ooh, puppy.
All right, guys. So you were all wrong. You were all wrong. But, this is China and anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. So, anyway, do you want to see that again? Jesus.
Ooh, puppy.
Sorry. I had to put him in there. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. All right. This is the last clip that I'm going to show today. This clip is absolute chaos. Do you guys know, like, in every single IKEA in the whole world, there's usually that reduced section where there's some, like, faulty goods, or there's some goods, that are still okay, but it's kind of like a factory second. Like, it's had a little bit of superficial damage or something like that. So there's that whole reduced section in every single IKEA. And this is an IKEA somewhere in China, and the people have just gone absolutely insane to get these cheap goods that have been discounted. Like, look at this.
我听说拿你钱，我拿着，我拿那个干嘛抢啊？这个没有必要吗？不知道你啊。我有那有，那个你给我，那我给我。
Jesus. This is insane. Bloody hell. They're just clearing it out. Let's end on his face. Yeah, that IKEA thing, it's not really just a one-off as well. It's quite a common scene in China when there's something cheap or free. The people do crowd it. It's kind of like survival of the fittest. You'll see like elderly people, generally like the elderly people, they come from this sort of like lost generation, a time during the Mao Zedong era when, the whole country was starving to death, and they have this like kill or be killed mentality. So you quite often see them like if there's something for free or something discounted, they'll queue for hours on end just to get it, like a bottle of water or something. It's insane. It's insane, and that is very problematic in China. It's crazy. It's crazy, and you see that all over the place. It just happened to be recorded in IKEA, but you see it like in big supermarkets and just anything for free. They will grab it. Oh, that guy. You gotta love this guy, right? He might be a new little meme on the channel. Nah, maybe not though. Maybe this is just the only time we're ever gonna see this guy. I'm not really into having all of these like soundboard clips and little memes and stuff. Just like to talk about what's going on in China. Try not to turn it too much into a comedy act. But it is funny though. It is funny. Cool. Well, yeah, that's all of the material I've got for you guys today. So, what have you got for me? Do you have any questions or anything you want to say here in the chat right now? I will read it. We'll go through it and maybe we'll have a little chat. So, let's have a look. What have we got? He looks like he spends a lot on beauty products. Hey, look, I don't know like what he's spending on beauty products. All I know is that he says some stupid shit. And yeah, man, like he was pretty much summing up what China was like for me when I was there. Everybody pointing at me, calling me a foreigner and saying hello in a stupid voice. Hello. Fuck off. Insane China. Indeed it is. It is. All right, guys, come on. Can you see I'm donning the Hawaiian shirt today? We had lovely weather here in the UK. Oh my god, it was beautiful today. It was like a hot summer's day. Seriously. Lewis, mate, that barbed wire looks like a Soviet era scene. Yes, it does. It does, mate. Seriously, look, let's get back to it. Yeah, look at that. Jesus. Looks like one of the Uyghurs' re-education camps, doesn't it? From Daniel says, "Hey Lewis, have you seen the politicians in Denmark after the elections? It's kindergarten. I have not, and I always hated Denmark's stance on China and Taiwan. They're big time kissing the CCP's ass. It's embarrassing, even more so than the UK. But no, mate, I haven't seen that. I hated it when they just pointed and said, "Hello, Lawai." Yeah, and I know what you mean, dude. I couldn't stand it as well, and I always used to complain about it, with my friends there, like my work colleagues and stuff. And some of them used to be like, "Oh, it's fine, it's okay," And I just tried to tell them, "Well, can you imagine if it was somebody in China and somebody kept doing that to them in another country? Then it wouldn't be good. So why is it okay for them to do it to me?" And they would just always defend it. Pathetic. Yeah, it used to piss me off too. It really did. Let's see. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. It's a little chilly in the shade. Seriously, dude, where are you? That too. I linked to the Xinjiang police files on my channel page. They silence me. I get louder. Indeed, it looks like straight out of the Xinjiang police files, this picture. It's really quite scary, harrowing stuff, actually. I will go there at some point and see it for myself. I think I have to see it to believe it. It's crazy. Crazy stuff, dude. Crazy stuff. Yeah. So what have you guys been up to then? Anything interesting? Be careful of the CCP, Mike. Oh, I think Mike is fine. Mike is fine. Don't need to worry about him. He knows what he's doing. He's not dumb. But yeah, you do need to be careful, obviously. They're pretty scary individuals, some of them. Especially when they swipe your camera out of your hand. Dude, you're in California and you're cold. Okay. I guess we must have got some of your weather here in the UK. Actually, it depends where in California you are as well, right? But don't worry, you don't have to tell me that. I have been melting all day. Yeah, dude, it's so hot here in the UK, right? I went out earlier. I was like only out for about 15 minutes. I was sweating. I was sweating like Michael Jackson on a school bus. Yeah, it was terrible. Yes, the weather is very hot today for some reason. It's very weird because if you flash back to last week, I was wearing a jacket and a sweater, and this week I'm donning my Hawaiian shirt. So yeah. I take it you liked the old Michael Jackson on a school bus one. Oh dear, dearie me. That Michael Jackson film, man, everybody's like praising it and stuff. And I'm like, dude, I do not want to go and watch a movie about a nonce. No offense. Like, okay, yeah, he had a great music career and he certainly was gifted, but just some of those like videos and of like his victims like telling their stories and him like having anyway. I'm not going to talk about it, but yeah, I'm definitely not going to pay money to go and watch a movie about his life. You mastered a new camera yet, mate? I think so. I think so. I think it's gonna. I'm buying a capture card for to plug the camera into my computer, and in the future, hopefully next week or in the following weeks, I'm gonna be using that camera to actually stream with here. I'm gonna set it up on a tripod, maybe like over there in front of the sofa, just because it will just be a far better image quality than what I've got at the moment. So I'm going to set that up. And yeah, I think I'm getting to grips with it, man. It's a cool camera. Really is. Let's see. Nice shirt. Thank you, Shujuan Su. I appreciate you. This shirt is an original Hawaiian shirt from the 1950s, which I've had for a very long time, and it still fits me, which is great. Which means that back in the day, this must have been really baggy on me because I was super skinny in my youth. Now I'm a fat piece of shit. But yeah, but this is like an original Hawaiian shirt from the 1950s. I used to kind of collect vintage clothes, so this is one of the remaining pieces that I have. Roasting here, going to be like feels like 42 degrees here later. Screw that. Yeah, I'll tell you, that's one thing that I do not miss about Taiwan is the like extreme humidity. It's like pretty unbearable. If I was to complain about a couple of things in Taiwan, like maybe three things that they're not that big a deal, really, considering Taiwan's an awesome free country. But the three things that I could criticize is the traffic, the weather, because it's too hot, like really, really too hot, and the earthquakes, which are very frequent and very scary. Apart from that, Taiwan is perfect. Daniel is going. Well, thank you for joining me today, Daniel. I appreciate you. Was your new video shot on the new camera? 50/50, mate. So, like the interviews and stuff, because I learned my lesson from that pinky grabbing the camera. All the interviews and stuff, if I'm ever going to do interviews, it's going to be shot on my action cam. And any other footage like b-roll and that kind of thing will be shot on the new camera. So if you watch the video, you'll see the interviews are all shot on my action cam and all of the b-roll is shot on the new camera. So yeah, that's the way I'm going to keep going moving forward. I don't want to risk it getting broken. I probably shouldn't have even bought that camera in the first place. You'll be so high res that you'll need to hire a makeup artist to help you know how to apply a good base powder your nose. Yeah, here's the thing. On that camera, I'm still like, although it's a really fancy ass camera and it shoots like at 8K, which you don't need, by the way, I'm still going to shoot at a lower definition. I'm still going to keep it at like high def, like 1080p, just because it's like a lot easier to work with that footage. If I shoot it on like, one day I will make a video where I use its full potential, but for now I'm just going to carry on shooting on a lower definition because it uses up a hell of a lot of memory and it takes up a lot of space on your hard drive. So that's something that I really didn't consider until I bought the camera, but it's fine because the image is still really nice and you get a really nice depth of field with this camera. So it was definitely worth investing in. And in the future, I can use it for some more like cinematic videos if I feel like it. I've always got that option now, which is great. Yes, this one I don't think it's in great condition. There's like a button missing at the bottom, and it's worn. I've worn it a lot, But yeah, I got some like another one, like another vintage one that might be worth some money. I've got like some old cowboy shirts and that kind of thing. Yeah, I kind of wish I carried on collecting, but in the end, I just couldn't be asked with it. Am I shooting in manual? Yes, mate. I always on the DSLR camera. I'll shoot in manual. Just gives you more room to play around with, more things that you can like work around. You know what I mean? I'll probably set the ISO to auto though, just so it's always balancing out the exposure and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm wearing a 30-year-old Billabong t-shirt that I bought at Ron John Surf Shop in Huntington Beach, California. That's pretty awesome, dude. I used to have like a Billabong hat, like a beanie type hat. Lots of editing leeway when shooting. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely, and like this has, man, this camera is awesome, by the way. Like, if you're going to shoot in 8K with the red setup as well, it just, man, if you have the time, look up the Nikon ZR and just look at like some of the footage people are getting off of this. It's amazing. Yeah, it really is. It really is. And I'm just gonna, like I said, like I'm not going to use it to its full potential for making my vlog type videos. There's not a lot of point. But I suppose if I ever branch out and do anything else, then I do have the option, like getting some really stunning footage. You know what I mean? So I'm just glad for that. That I actually, I've never had that option before. So now it's sitting there, and I can get some awesome footage if I want to. So I'm pretty chuffed, pretty over the moon actually. Like it cost a lot of money, but man, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. The Sunny 16 rule. What's the Sunny 16 rule? I used to sell Hawaiian shirts on eBay. Good condition cowboy shirts were harder to find. The cuffs were usually worn out. Yes, mate. This cowboy shirt is decent, but it's bloody tiny, and I can't believe I actually used to wear this one, dude. Like it's a H bar C, which is like a really famous brand for cowboy shirts. But yeah, anyway, we ain't here to talk about vintage clothes, right? Well, actually, we can talk about whatever we want to, I guess. As long as you guys are happy, I'm happy. But yeah, I used to have a lot more like vintage clothes. And I don't know, man. As I'm getting older, I'm starting to think I should probably try and dress younger. When I used to be younger, I was dressing in all these vintage clothes that like old people wore, but I was young, so it was cool. But now I'm just going to be an old dude wearing old man's clothes. So maybe not the best thing, right? Oh dear. Oh dearie me, right? Okay, guys, have you got anything else for me? Now's your chance. Come on. Talk to me. Do I have to put that guy back on the screen going? Sunny 16 is a rule of thumb method for selecting the proper exposure settings on manual cameras. It works like a charm. I think I know about that. Probably learnt it back in the day, but kind of just forgot about it because now these cameras just kind of do everything for you, dude. Like, seriously. Like, yeah, it's kind of weird, like getting used to using this new camera because I think for the last 2 years, yeah, it's got to be for the last 2 years, I've used nothing but like a GoPro or a different action cam, and they're pretty much always in focus. They have a very like um, wide field of view. There's no need to worry about like focusing or anything like that. You just set it up and it's ready to go. So now it's like I'm sort of using one of these cameras for the first time, even though I've had like DSLRs in the past, and I still have my old DSLR, which is a Nikon D810. But yeah, it's really weird just getting used to this new camera, and just remembering all of the stuff, how to set up the shot, and yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, but it's a great camera, man. Like great camera. I'm so glad that Nikon decided to release a cinema camera because I've always been a fan of Nikon cameras, and they always were lacking in that department for video work. But now they've got a really awesome one that can compete with Sony, and I think that's great. And I'm just like, I'm really chuffed that they brought one out last year, and now I've got it. Jesus, this is amazing. Yeah, guys, I can see like chat's not very busy, which must mean that you guys are ready to go, which means I should go, right? So I just want to say thank you all so much for watching today, as per usual. Please don't forget to give the video a like, give it a comment if you can, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, but I'm pretty sure all of you are already. And yeah, go and check out my new video on Team Taiwan UK, which came out earlier today if you have the time, unless you've already seen it, which if you have, thank you so much. And yeah, guys, I will see you all next week as usual, 8 p.m. on a Monday, crossing China's red line. See you guys soon. Bye for now. Take care, guys.